Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Two Buds One Podcast, episode 40. I am your host, the Techno Jelly, with my co-host Alchem Games. Alchem, it's been almost a full month, I feel like, since the last podcast episode we did, because of me being sick for so long, and then I was supposed to go away, but then got sick, and then you were busy for 1 week, I think. It's been a long time. Like I said, it's been like almost a full month. Since we've done an episode. Well, okay, that's not true. We did an episode and then I had audio problems, so that episode never went live. And then I got sick.
Oh yeah,
right?
that's what happened. Yep.
So we got a lot about to talk about. So I have many things, and the first things I wanted to bring up actually, funny enough, when I re-looked up this thing because I did a video on it earlier this week, there was actually a update to it. And it is the two Steam policies. Do you know about the two, or okay, not new. I should rephrase this. The two Steam one new Steam policy and one reaffirmed policy. Did you see these policies? Or Steam some would argue is the features as well. Two Steam features as well.
Are you referring to the whole shoot, I'm trying to remember how to phrase it. One where they notify you if a beta game, like a game that's currently in testing, early access game, hasn't received any updates in forever.
Yes.
And also, what was the second one? I think it was something about refunds for certain games. If I forget I forget the full detail. All right.
So the first one you did get correct. It is the Valve putting a warning tag on an early access game if the game and they actually came out and said this, a developer of Steam said this, if a game has not been updated for 12 months, a warning will be put on the early access page. Right under the why early access thing, they'll notify that this developer has not updated the game for 12 months, which I think is a good update. Really good update. The Steam developer did say that it's not necessarily just an update. It's if they have done nothing. So like this also includes updates to like the community page. So basically it has been more than 12 months since the build has been assigned to the default branch of Steam in Steamworks. So that's like the behind the scenes update. Or it has been more than 12 months since the developer has posted an update type event communicating to players about the next update. This includes 3 types of events: major updates, regular updates, or patch notes. So I think it's a really good thing, and I'm glad that this exists. I'm kind of, honestly, I don't know about you, Alchem, I'm kind of shocked that this hasn't been, like, that this wasn't a thing already, or like it took them this long to develop something like this, because like dead early access games has been a thing since early access became a thing in like what, 2013. Like not to hamper the joke, but DayZ was like a notorious thing, right? Like, I mean, to be fair, the game is a lot better nowadays than it was before, but like I think a lot of players would have appreciated that warning when they got it like 5 years ago. And like, even though this game is doing fine now, even though I have personal problems with it, like 7 Days to Die would sometimes go years in the past without updates and no communication. Unless you went to their 7 Days to Die forums, which not everyone goes to. Because you had to go to their website and go to their forums to find updates, what they're working on, not the Steam page. Which you really should, like, I should just say to all developers of any size, if you're not updating your store page, you really should be. It's like when Rust finally made a new trailer, because the old Rust trailer was so old that it was showing zombies in the game still. Like, yeah. It was so old, that old trailer. When they finally updated the trailer.
And yeah, hopefully it does curve a bunch of developers from actually stopping this whole thing of putting out games that, I mean, what's the term? Just quick cash grabs with no updates, no nothing, and then they just abandon it.
Yeah.
Here's hoping here's hoping this starts changing something, and we don't just have a bunch of developers who just put out a game, let it just sit there for basically almost a year, and then put out like the smallest of updates.
Yeah. The only small, the weird thing is that if you have a beta branch, it doesn't count. So if you're updating a beta branch constantly, it doesn't count, which is slightly weird. But if you're updating a beta branch, generally you're also posting updates on the Steam page, which also counts. So like, I guess they have a way to stop that. Because I know some games update through a beta branch a lot before they push an update. So sometimes they're updating the beta branch for like a while. But I do feel like most games, if you don't have an update within 12 months and you're in early access, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of a red flag. Like, I understand, like, if you're one person, if you're a solo dev, I can understand, like, hey, 12 months is like, being one person, like, you're stretching yourself, you're wearing many hats when you're a solo dev, but, like, if you're pushing no updates at all for 12 months, I don't know, I feel like that's definitely a problem. Because it's not even, like, it's not even major updates, like, you're not even updating anything.
I mean, there has to be a threshold as to how far along your game has to be before you just it's considered abandoned, or before it's considered complete, for lack of a better term. Just because otherwise, like, developers will take years and years and years to make just the singlest update, and that's it's not fair to the person who pitched in money for it. I mean, eventually you get to the point where you just feel like you're scammed because you expected a full game eventually. That's why you bought it. You thought it was a cool idea and you wanted to fund it before it came out. But if they're just going to keep shoveling small updates, small packages, and then the final game just never comes out, then you've essentially just been cheated out of whatever experience you thought you were going to have.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing is from what I'm reading, it does, like, if there is zero communication, it posts the warning. So, like, even if you're just updating the community page on Steam that you see, like, when you go to a Steam store page, and click on a game, you can see, like, the most recent update on a game. Even if you're not updating that tab, like, if you're updating that tab, the warning will not show. So, like, you have to be, like, literally not doing anything on the Steam side. Because, like, even on the recent events and announcement section, I think that's what it is. Recent events and announcements. If you're not updating that for 12 months and no actual Steamworks backend updates, that's when it posts the update. That's when it posts the warning. So, I mean, like, even for solo dev, they're like, hey, 12 months, like, when you're a solo dev or a small team, sometimes updates can take a long time. Yes, but if you're not even doing anything on the events tab as well, you're not even telling people progress. It's like, yeah, people should know that this game hasn't been updated. Because, like, I understand the struggles of a small dev team, but if you're a small dev team, then you should be at least posting text updates of what you guys are working on anyway. Like, if there's anything that's proven to me is that most people are totally fine with, like, update once or twice every even if it's once every 2 years, as long as you're telling them what you're working on and showing it. Like, YouTube devs, like the game devs that do the YouTube stuff, like the YouTube dev vlogs, like, I watch so many channels that have been working on games, and, like, they technically haven't updated the game in years, or for some of them, like, it's just a wish list thing, but, like, you see the game, you know they're working on it. They literally show you what they're working on, you know? So, yeah. So that's the first Steam thing. The second one was the ads. So, Steam, now I do have to say this has already been a Steam policy for a long time, but Steam probably because of some AAA companies, I'm gonna have to say, reaffirmed, and it now has its own section, so everyone knows for a fact that this is not okay, that you're not allowed to use advertising as a way to provide value to players. So develop a way to provide value to players, such as giving a player a reward for watching or engaging with advertisements in their game. So basically any mobile game shenanigans, Steam is saying
okay.
no. Like, you know, the thing where you're like, hey, watch an ad and you get a free spin, or watch an ad and you get currency. That stuff is not allowed on Steam. And the reasoning, I think they're reaffirming this, is a lot of AAA companies have been talking about this. Some of the bigger ones are EA and Ubisoft have been talking about this. One, EA basically already has that kind of in their sports games. I know NBA has been plagued. The NBA games have been plagued with actual straight up ads during like a halftime show. Or like there's literal ad breaks from what I can tell in some of the worst case scenarios. Which is stupid, by the way. Like, I'm just gonna say that. That's so dumb. And playing apparently, like, they really, like, I know NBA is really bad for this, but like they are so desperate for you to buy the microtransactions for that. Like, even during single players, like, you remember, I assume have you ever played sports games at all, Alchem? I can't actually remember.
Honestly, no.
So, okay, so I'm sure you know the concept of making your own basketball player and going through up to get to the major leagues and playing you're playing that one character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even in that single player mode, they want you to buy microtransactions. You can buy power in that mode. So like it's a horrible grind to like gain skills in that game apparently. To be fair, I am going off of secondhand information because I haven't played a sports game in a long time because they've become a microtransaction filled mess. And I directly blame FIFA for this. But it's really interesting to see them they are putting Steam put their foot down and saying, "Hey guys, remember we have these rules already. Like you're not allowed to do this." And I think the two big things is the AAA companies talking about ads in their games, because obviously not making tens of millions of dollars in profit isn't enough. So you need to put ads in your video games. But also there's been I've seen it a little bit, but not super widespread. A lot of mobile games have been doing direct ports to Steam, and like definitely playing on the edge of what's allowed and not. So I think they're kind of like saying, hey guys, you can't put ads in your games. Because there is a lot of stuff. It was very borderline. Like there wasn't technically a click up, like there wasn't like, that mobile game, like click to watch ad stuff, but like it was getting close. It had like the daily login rewards, all that type of stuff. But yeah. So, I mean, that's just a good thing, I think. I doubt you disagree with me with that.
No, I absolutely don't disagree with that. I'm glad. I don't believe this curbs a lot of behavior from a lot of those types of games.
The big one, honestly, is the AAA companies. Because it's been proven over and over and over again that no matter what it is, Steam dominates the PC gaming market.
Mm-hmm.
So if your game is not on Steam, you lose sales, period.
Yeah. Period.
So if they want to do the ad stuff, they have to go, not only do they have to not be on Steam, they have to go somewhere else, which means you lose sales even more. And then when people find out you have ads in your games, that's probably even more or less sales. So I don't even think they're going to be making the money back through the ads. Unless there's some crazy deals behind the scenes, but I doubt it. So yeah. And another thing is interesting that let me read this quote. Yeah, like it's, if your game business model relies on advertising on other platforms, you need to remove these elements before shipping on Steam. And they I think the funny thing is how they're telling developers or other people to make money on Steam. It's like, some options you can consider include switching to a single purchase paid app in quotation marks, or making your game free to play with optional upgrades sold via microtransactions or downloadable content, DLC. It's like, it's so funny that they had to say this. It's like, devs should not need to know this, but they really do sometimes.
It's because, well, I mean, it's because it originally was DLC and the small little microtransactions that got them money, but then they found other ways to try to push it even further by putting even forced advertisements, so they get even additional money, while they still have probably some paid stuff that they have in there. Yeah, so, I feel like Steam basically just like trying to just tell the AAA ones, like, hold on, guys, calm down. You're being a little too greedy now.
Yeah.
At this point, like, you're shoving mobile ad style like stuff into your game,
straight
into
up
AAA
sometimes.
games. Calm down.
Yeah, it's been bad, especially when they're like, the EAs or the Ubisoft. Okay, to be fair, Ubisoft is on a down spiral, but like EA is still making tons of money, so it's not even like.
When I pay like $50, $60, $70 for my game and I'm getting ads in my game, no, that's you're done. You're done. Yeah. Stop.
Yeah. One funny thing I saw, Alchem, speaking of the story about the early access warning system, some people said they want this warning system on every single EA game, just because it would be funny to see how long it takes EA to update their multiplayer games, or if they've abandoned their games, because EA so often abandons multiplayer games. And everyone's like, I feel like this should be a feature not just on early access games. I understand why it's not on early access games, or only on early access games, because like your single player RPGs aren't updating every 12 months, like Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the best RPGs ever, and it updated like 1 or 2 times like every couple years, because their patches are really big. I mean, they do bug fixes and stuff like that, but like their patches are few and far between. But that's because there's already like, it's a single player RPG. What do you expect? So I understand why it didn't, but I just thought it was funny that everyone requested it to be put on EA games specifically. Speaking of EA. So yeah, I'm glad that this is reaffirmed, because once again, it's been proven that this like ban, I guess, or this policy on Steam about ads was always a thing, or it's been a thing for a long time. But the Steam developers made a new section to reaffirm it and like have its own thing for it, so everyone knows. Because I think they were not necessarily worried, but like they wanted to make sure that all parties involved know that you're not allowed to put advertising in a game that disrupts people players.
Because
there is advertising. Like there is advertising in video games all the time, but I
expected like a free to play game though, not one that you actually paid for.
I mean,
not like one that you paid.
Some of the classic stuff is like product placement in video games. There's tons of product placement.
That's like
fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine, because that's not interrupting the gameplay. That's not distracting you. That's not pulling away from the gameplay. It's when there's a deliberate ad made to pull you away just to shill some product, and that's drawing the line. For a free to play game, I can understand that, because I mean it's free to play anyway. You're not. It kind of like is a silent agreed upon thing.
It's about the value though. You're not allowed to provide value engaging with advertising. Yeah, so, for instance, you're not allowed to give premium currency if you watch an ad. Like free-to-play games.
Movie. Like, dude, imagine you just bought a movie, just a feature-length film, and in the middle of the damn thing, there's like, please hold for our 2-minute ad.
Yeah.
No, that'd be unheard of. Like, you go to the movie theater to watch just any of the latest films, and there's legitimately an ad break. I'd be pissed. Yeah. I would just. No.
Yeah.
Be done. I'd be so done.
Because it's like in free to play mobile games, like when you say, hey, watch this ad and we give you currency, or watch this ad and we give you a free pull and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I get that. But on Steam, they're like, no, that's not okay. And like, honestly, understandable. It's a different market, and different things should be allowed.
And, the thing is, EA, in my eyes, EA is one of the scummiest of all the developers, especially for the sports games. Isn't a lot of their sport games have like a pull, kind of like a gotcha system nowadays?
Yeah.
For some stuff.
Okay, so FIFA has the card packs.
Yeah.
I know the NBA game has a straight up slot machine that you can interact with. Like part of the microtransactions is like a straight up slot machine, basically. And I don't know about the other games, honestly. Like I said, Alchem, I haven't played the sport. I used to play the NBA games, but I haven't played the NBA games for like almost a decade at this point. Like I think the last one I really played was like 2016 or 17 or something like that. I haven't played them in a very long time. Because one, I kind of got I stopped being interested in sports in general, and it got to a point where you know how the joke, like for instance, like COD games are the same game every year. Like the sports games, it's like it's the same game but with updated rosters. They're straight up taking out features.
Yeah, no, I've seen old YouTubers that I love watching actually make that comment, and that was years ago. They made that. They actually showed in their videos comparing older games to newer games.
Yeah, they're just straight up taking out features.
They're taking out features. They're taking out hell. They're just shoving the previous graphics, the previous engines from the previous games, and just putting them in, and just taking out stuff, and either never putting it back or suddenly putting it back as like something you have to buy or something you like DLC kind of stuff. And
pretty much
it works because everyone who buys sport, I'm sorry if you do, but it seems like everyone who buys sports games just will always buy it again.
Well, the thing is with a lot of sports games, a lot of people that buy sports games, that's the game they play. Like they're only playing that game. So like buying the new Madden and then buying the DLC for Madden, it's kind of like similar to COD guys. Like COD is the only game they play, so they buy COD and they buy the DLCs and they wait for the one to come out the next year. They're not looking at other video games.
Imagine a console player only getting the console just to play FIFA.
That 100% exists. That 100% exists.
I can't wait for the new FIFA console to come out.
It's not even called FIFA anymore. It's called FC Sports.
I can't wait for the new soccer console game to come out. I hate it. I hate it here.
Yeah. But I mean, my biggest problem was at least for me when I stopped playing sports games was that like they were literally taking out, like I really enjoyed the like franchise mode when you like play as the team owner and you're playing like you're trying to get the best team, you're doing the trades and stuff like that, and you're still playing like the basketball side of it and create your character. And I think they took it out one year. And then I was like, well, then I'm not going to play it. Like, that's the only... Like, I don't care about multiplayer and stuff like that. Like, I just stopped caring. And apparently I got out on a good time because a lot of people say, they started getting really bad. Like, for instance, I've never...
You're talking about the coach thing, right?
Not necessarily the coach thing. The franchise mode is where you say... Like, for instance... the franchise mode is where...
that was...
For my personal things... Yeah, the franchise.
That was when it happened. That's when, at least for the NBA, when they started to be more gambly and more gacha than because that was one of the biggest features that they had that people loved.
Yeah.
And then when they took it out, it just seems like it snowballed. And they kept doing that where they took out more and more features and just added more of a gambling kind of a mechanic.
Yeah.
At least for NBA. So because that's what I remember. That I still remember in the video where they showed the graphics for like NFL games, and it just getting
the
worse.
Madden games graphics have gotten so bad somehow. I don't know how.
I would love.
Also, I'm pretty sure
that talks about it now.
Have you ever watched Krendor?
No, I have not.
So every Madden, he buys the Madden games, and what he does is he has a series on YouTube called, I think it's called Glass Joe something. But where he creates a character and makes the most fragile human being possible and makes him a running back. And then it's just how long does he last? Like how long until he gets injured? And he's convinced that system is broken now and they've never fixed it because he's gone entire seasons without getting injured. And it's like he legitimately thinks the system's broken and they've never bothered to fix it. because like he has series where it's like he used to get injured in like the first game or the second game. You know, he'd last games, but now he like can straight up last a full football season, American football season, I should say. And it's like he's convinced that the system's broken. They've never bothered to fix it. Like the sliders do nothing when it comes to the fragility of his character and stuff like that.
Huh.
But yeah, it's just it's a rabbit hole when you talk about when you start looking into like how bad sports games have become. And I think the worst thing is like specifically with the FIFA or the FC Sports, whatever they're called now, is that the games themselves aren't that bad. Like it's not like the NHL games got really bad from what I can tell from the people who talked about that. The NBA games got really bad in terms of gameplay, and same with Madden. But the FIFA games were always still FIFA. It was just the microtransactions were so stupid. But it seems like everything is just tanking. I mean, to be fair, the only profits that EA in their earnings call, the only game that made money was FC Sports. And it was like in the billions of revenue because of those card pack sales of the FIFA card packs. Like they were making so much money on that game.
Whoa.
But yeah, I mean, some of the biggest YouTubers made their entire careers off of that.
Off of them just doing the gacha pulls.
Off the gacha pulls.
Also,
I remember watching KSI open card packs in FIFA, and when he got a bad pack, he would run to a different room, grab a laptop, and break it.
Jelly, I will be right back because I gotta go check on something. I'm so sorry about this.
No problem.
Right.
So yeah, so that is the sports games terribleness. I kind of miss the NBA games, but like I am just like not willing to buy or play them because like it's just such a terrible thing, especially with the newest NBA one, 2025. I've seen some people really complain about the microtransactions where like they're making you basically it's grind for days or buy the microtransactions, which is stupid. And yeah, it's a sad day when I think about wanting to play a sports games, and I think about buying like the Mario tennis game or the Mario golf game because I think it's going to be a better experience than the actual sports games. It's kind of sad, honestly. It makes me sad. It makes me sad and depressed sometimes.
Don't worry. One day Nintendo will also do the gacha thing.
To be fair, they do gacha, but they do it in real life.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, in the game, so you can get like S-Class Waluigi on your team or something.
They did that. They have a mobile games division, Alchem. The mobile version of Mario Kart was insane. Did you not know that they did that?
I know they did they did mobile stuff, but I didn't realize they did gacha in their mobile.
I don't think it was gacha like S characters, but there was definitely like a lot of stuff like that. It was a mobile game. Like it was definitely not free of that type of stuff. And to be fair, Alchem, you do realize they own Pokemon Unite, right? Like that game is filled with gacha. Oh, Alchem's dead. Uh-oh. Unlucky.
Yes, what's up?
So, getting back to it. Speaking of bad companies, let's talk about a good company, Alchem. And
is there one?
Yes, because it's called Capcom, and they're releasing Monster Hunter Wilds soon. And I'm pretty excited for that game, honestly. Did you play
the beta?
Well, I played. Other than the time I played with you, I didn't play it. Did they change anything from this second test?
So there wasn't really. Well, yes, yeah. The second test had a new monster. Actually, had two new monsters.
Nice.
Yeah. So there was Arkfeld, which I don't know if it's going to be the poster
Arkfeld?
monster.
Wait,
it looks like.
Didn't we fight Arkfeld?
Yes, the little skeleton, the bone skeleton dragon.
Yeah.
He is the hardest one in the beta right now.
Yeah.
and the other one that came out is Gypsros. Yeah, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Basically, big rubber chicken.
Yeah. I don't think I ever fought him. I don't think I ever fought him.
He is basically an older monster from one of the older games who is supposed to be very games. Yeah, he's very annoying because he is very he literally can avoid certain actions. He is flashbang proof. Okay. He causes poison. He causes flashbangs. He is basically electric proof because you can't set up shock traps on him.
Oh, because he's rubber.
He apparently can take your items, or he can take random items from you.
That's just rude.
So it's like, oh, all right, now I see why people hate him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the Wilds beta. I'm super excited for Wilds, but for me, playing the beta and not being able to like use the materials and upgrade stuff, like that's the reason I play Monster Hunter. So I'm like, okay, I played the game. It's still Monster Hunter. I really like the new additions, the stuff. Yeah. I'm just gonna be like waiting for the game to come out because like I like the progression system of Monster Hunter.
Exactly.
So. And the fact that that's not in the beta, I'm like, well, that's like half the reason I play this game. So
yeah, I don't just play for the thrill of the hunt, although that is part of the thrill.
That's the other 50%, but 50% is the progression.
It's like 50% is the thrill of the hunt, but the other 50% is just plastering that trophy onto your wall. And by trophy, I mean the spoils of war, like bettering yourself and your gear and everything. And if I don't have that, or if they just basically show the screen like, hey, you got all this stuff, but ha ha ha.
Yeah, we can't use it.
None of it matters because the game isn't out.
Yeah, we can't use any of that stuff. Like when we finally killed Archfeld, it was Archfeld?
Yeah.
What's it called?
That was Arkvald or
Arkfeld. Arkfeld. Yeah, when we finally killed it, it was amazing and great.
Yeah.
But I couldn't use any of his materials. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, so I kind of was like, oh, like, we did it. And I was like, no, you don't keep those stuff, says Capcom. And I'm like, oh, I know, it's the beta.
And I get that. And I'm glad that they do have a beta just so I can play it and just to make sure. But yeah, it is definitely... It's just nice to see. And I'm also really glad that Capcom is... I don't know... Are they the only I feel like they're one of the only Japanese companies that really is starting to understand how important the PC market can be, because it's not going to be delayed like all the other Japanese companies delay the PC release.
Oh yeah.
But Wilds is going to be day one on everything, which is great. And it's just great. Even with the PC performance being super bad, like how it was, but at least it's gonna be there. And I hope the things they do between the beta and the release can fix the PC problems, because like I don't know about you, Alchem, but Wilds was chugging on my computer, and my computer is not.
So
like my computer is a beast.
They did mention that they're doing some performance, there's stuff to fix performances, especially since they got a lot of feedback for the whole SSD thing, and people were like, yo, it's not fair that this game has to have an SSD card for a better performance, otherwise it's going to be PlayStation polygraphics bad. And they apparently they understood that, and they're like, okay, we understand, we're going to make some fixes, and it just wasn't in the beta release day, it'll be okay. Yeah.
And I hope they manage to do something, but it's also a case where I think a lot of people are stuck in the past, where I've seen a lot of people talk about how like their high-end PC can't play Monster Hunter Wilds, and when they post their specs, they're still using a 1080. It's like, I'm sorry, man, that's not high specs anymore. That card is 8 years old.
Nope. Like your card is outdated. I'm sorry. Also, oh, you have a great graphics. Too bad. The memory you're putting it in is bad. Go get a SSD.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Everything is new. We must.
I mean, to be fair, SSDs aren't even that like expensive anymore, so you can get good SSDs nowadays for not too expensive. But like, I just hope it's better. because my computer is a beast. It's not super high end anymore. I mean, I'm using the 4070. So like I'm only one card generation behind, and my CPU is the most recent, and technically my RAM is last gen, but my SSD is high end, and I was only getting 40 FPS basically. Now, to be fair, I don't know how they do this. I don't know how Capcom does this with Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter World was also pretty bad when it comes to PC performance, but as long as it's not under 30, I've never really cared. And I generally care a lot about FPS, but for some reason, Monster Hunter is the game that is like, I don't mind, like I've never felt it affected the game as much as it does other games having lower FPS. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it feels weird, and it's probably because it's got the root. Monster Hunter has its roots on the mobile games like DS and PSP and stuff like that. So like the frame rate has never been that high for these games. So like if it's above 30, I feel like it's already running better than what it was supposed to be running at sometimes.
I will say to its benefit, although when I first played it on my normal HD drive, when I was fighting the I think Chatteraba, or I forget the frog.
Yeah.
And it went to PlayStation graphics. The game still actually ran smooth.
Yeah.
It's just that it took a bit to load in, but during the fight, even though he was polygonal and you couldn't really make out his full design, he still moved around, and I actually could play. So I was like, oh, okay. This is it ended up becoming more of a joke and a funny thing than it should have been a frustrating thing, because I'm just like, oh, okay, this is what'll happen, but I can still enjoy the game. Granted, yes, I would love to enjoy it where I can see the full monster and everything and see all the details. But yeah, it's just like a testament to show that despite them requiring higher hardware, despite them requiring higher performance specs, it seems to not be as impactful to its actual game performance compared to other games.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
My only thing is that I hope they can try to maybe go for 60 FPS on PC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have confidence they can, but as long as it's steady, as long as it doesn't dip below 30 and it's steady, I'm going to be okay with Monster Hunter, honestly. It's like I said before, for some reason, Monster Hunter not being at 60 FPS doesn't affect me as much as it does other games. Because when games start to chug, I start to get motion sick half the time. Or when games have very choppy, like I get headaches and stuff. But Monster Hunter as a game has never really done that, which is weird. And I don't know what crazy wizard tech they're doing at Capcom, but they've done something. And I do feel like it might be because the game was designed for 3DS and PSP. So they've always been kind of like pushing hardware. Like the fact that these types of games ran on those mobile consoles is insane to me anyway. But I'm just kind of glad that it's is a thing and is coming soon. Coming out in 2 weeks now?
Yep,
I think
end of the month.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. I don't know if I'll be getting it right away because I honestly don't think the servers are gonna last. And do you need to be online to play single player for Monster Hunter? I don't remember.
No, you can set up your own private server kind of thing.
But do you need to be connected to their servers?
Not that I know of. It's not something I made myself fully aware of.
Yeah,
because I did remember while I was going on, it says something about creating your own private lobby.
Yeah, but
to which
creating a private lobby, you might still need to be connected to the Capcom servers.
Yeah,
because I feel like
I don't know.
I feel like on launch day, if you do need to be connected to the Capcom servers, that it's gonna be. I don't think anyone's gonna be able to play day one. I'll be real.
Yeah.
This is the most hyped Monster Hunter game that I've ever known.
I think you will still be able to play offline.
I think so.
Because it'll be very weird. I don't think they've ever really done an online-only Monster Hunter, and it'll be very odd if they did.
Yeah.
It's only if you want to play with buddies online.
Yeah, and obviously, it'll be interesting to see if the servers can handle it. I mean, to be fair, honestly, other than the fact that the time I played Wilds with you, I don't think I played Monster Hunter World too much multiplayer, honestly. I only played it a couple times multiplayer. I played it mostly single player.
So I need to, once it's out, I'm definitely going to be playing multiplayer, hopefully alongside Mia and whoever the hell else wants to join from time to time.
I might join for a little bit. Yeah. I really enjoyed the hammer. Honestly, it was the first time I ever used the hammer in Monster Hunter.
It's one of those, like, everyone just pop in, pop out. If we're fighting a monster you're after or want to go after, and we're like, hell yeah, let's go. Most of the time, I don't mind going after any monster because half of the time I just want to get new items for a new variant of a weapon that I either am favoriting or just haven't used and wanted to try.
Yeah.
It's always fun for me.
I did not enjoy the bow and the two guns.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The heavy bow gun and the light, or I think it's called the light bow. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Flesh too.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the hammer. I really enjoyed hammer time, going up to things and just smacking it with my hammer.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
All right, 1 second.
It's really satisfying, especially when you do the full attack where you get to like fully charge your hammer and everything, and then just whack them and do massive damage, or just you just get that notification that you've broken several parts of the monster.
I mean, that was honestly the saddest thing about the beta for me is I was like, I broke so many things off of the monsters, but I can't use any of it. I was like, man, this is so cool, and I'm so happy that I'm figuring this out, but I can't use any of these materials. So like,
So that's one of the reasons why I was like, okay, I had my fun, I played my thing. I'll wait till the full game, and then I'll get to enjoy it to the fullest because then I get. Like look at all these monster parts I actually get to have now.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Also, I still don't understand how Monster Hunter does food so good. Like, holy cow!
Seriously, like
I don't know how they managed to look like all the food in Monster Hunter looks so good.
The one part I love now that I just didn't think they would do is you can make a custom dish.
Yeah.
Add additional toppings, and it'll show in the animation when you're making it.
While we're fighting, the funny thing is though, the eating animation doesn't change, which is really funny because I was making the vegetarian meals because it gave me more resistance to their elemental effects. So they were stabbing a cabbage with a knife because that's what they do with the steaks. And it's very funny because it doesn't change the eating animation. It's very amusing to me.
Great. It's so great. Oh man, it's gonna be so much fun when it comes out.
Yeah.
So that's gonna absorb a portion of my life.
Yeah. So speaking of servers and servers dying, me being worried about servers dying. Have you seen the absolute disaster of the Elden Ring Nightreign beta network test?
No, because I didn't hear anything. I was actually looking how to get into the thing, but it was gone.
It is not. Yeah. So first of all, it's not PC. It's console only.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. So it's console only, and they did a really weird testing period. So the network test runs from February 15th. Yeah. So it started Friday, I think. So 14th. Maybe. Anyway, doesn't matter. But instead of running the beta or network test or whatever it's called for like the full 48 hours, there's blocks of 3-hour pockets that you can play in until February 17th. So it was like 3-hour chunks that you could play on console only. And during the first 3-hour pocket, Alchem, it was a disaster. Like, people could not log in. They were stuck on the starting screen. When people got into lobbies, they disconnected. When people got into lobbies, they got infinite loading screens. It was bad. So bad that they actually apologized, and apparently they're working on doing another network test to make up for it. Luckily, they did manage to fix it so people could actually play it eventually. So they might be doing an extra one. So have you seen anyone be actually playing the Elden Ring Nightreign?
I have not. I have not.
So do you know anything about it?
No, I was just excited because I wanted to try it.
Do you care if I tell you what it is?
Go for it.
So, what Elden Ring Nightreign is, from what we know, and also to put a caveat on this, the demo has restricted some things. There is some restrictions to it. And so yeah. Alchem, you can't freeze. You can't stop moving because I keep thinking you're you're disconnecting. I keep thinking you're disconnecting. Oh, he's dead. IRL.
I'm right here. Wait,
I'm kidding.
What?
I was kidding.
Oh.
I was kidding. It would have been really funny though. So, what Elden Ring Nightreign is, first of all, is a 3-player co-op. I'm just gonna say it. It's a 3-player co-op roguelike, basically. That's what it is in the Elden Ring universe, in the Elden Ring thing. So, when you enter a lobby, when you start the match, you get to pick, in the demo, you get to pick one of 4 classes. In the full game, it's one of 8 classes, I'm pretty sure, but they've only talked about 4. Each class is a caricature archetype of an Elden Ring character, of an Elden Ring character you can build, basically. They are, it's soft classes in terms of like the trifecta. So there are DPS, tank, and healers, but it's very soft. It's more like DPS with some tankiness, DPS with some interruption, DPS with some healing. You know what I mean? Like everyone is DPS, but there's a flavor of DPS, you know? Like, are you pure DPS or are you DPS with something? You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
You have an ability and an ultimate for every class, a unique ability and a unique ultimate, which gain throughout the match. So after you pick your class, once again, 1 out of 4 in the demo or 1 out of 8 in the full game. And then you drop. Literally, you fly into the map on like those. Do you remember the trailer, Alchem? Like those bird things?
Yeah, I do.
So you're flying in on those things into the map. Into the map, you drop down, and you can open your map. You can see all the markers on the map. The entire map is revealed the whole time, and you see all the markers. And the objective of the, I guess, day, because I'll explain that soon, is to find items and level up. So leveling is simplified. You aren't individually leveling stats like you are in Elden Ring. You are gathering runes. When you kill enemies and stuff like that, you're gathering runes. And if you go to a grace, you just click the level up button and it levels up. And you can go from level 1, 2, 3. Like, I don't know how high you can go, but you aren't putting individual stats. All the characters level up through their own ways to get good at what they're good at. You know what I mean? And the big thing is, so this is one thing that I think they should have mentioned. They should have advertised more during the demo, because I saw a lot of people complain about this, and I was super sure that it was, but in the demo it wasn't. So the map in the demo is not generated. It is a static map. You get the same map every single time when you play a new round. In the game, every map is procedurally generated. In the full release, every map will be procedurally generated.
Okay.
So people learned the demo map, and you could like really min-max it, but in the actual game, it's going to be randomly generated. So you can't
you won't be able
to. From what I know, the terrain might be the same, but what's the locations are not going to be. So like the buildings and the camps and all that
You
kind of
never
stuff.
can get used to it and try to build or try to memorize
So basically,
something. Okay,
this game is a roguelike extraction game, which is very funny to say because it's Elden Ring. But so the reason you're building your strength up is because the game has basically 5 phases. Day 1, night 1, day 2, night 2, and then boss. During all of these things, you are powering yourself up to fight the final boss and win the match. Runes are shared, so whenever you kill anything, everyone gets the runes. Loot, though, is not shared. So when you open a chest, when you go over to a chest and it opens like 3 items pop out, or like how many ever items pop out. If you pick up that item, the other person cannot pick it up. And it's 3-player co-op. So it's like a, what's it called? That's the character building of all the things. Equipment, weight doesn't exist in Elden Ring Nightreign. You just have certain amounts of inventory slots. So you have 6 item slots and a couple armor pieces, I think, like talisman slots. All the weapons in Elden Ring are there, but they have passive stats at the bottom. The passive stats are still used even if they're not equipped. So your 6 item slots are kind of like your 6 weapon slots are like also passive item buffs. So like I've seen a couple examples where you find a sword that you're never going to use, but it gives you 15% guard block, or like whatever that white bar is, the stagger. Like it gives you better stagger and stuff.
So quick question.
Yep.
When you complete a dungeon or complete one round and you kill the boss and everything, do the items stay with you?
No.
Or it's just for the map? Okay.
It's just for the map.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any progression outside of the match. They don't show any of that, and no one's ever watched it. Like the person I watched was you know this guy Maximilian Dude. He has a video.
Oh yeah.
He has like a 50-minute video on it, and it's like full 2 rounds.
I should go see it.
Yeah, and I see him playing the game, and I don't remember if he ever talked about if there's anything outside, but if there is, the demo doesn't have it, and they haven't talked about outside progression of the match. Yeah, but what you're grabbing items, you're grabbing consumables, you're grabbing runes, because killing enemies does give you runes, and the runes are shared between all 3 players. But another thing is the locations have predictable loot. So if you find for instance, a castle, that castle will always have a mini boss that drops stuff and a lot of runes. You know, not the same mini boss, but it'll always have a mini boss. If you go, apparently the churches are where you upgrade your flask. And there are spawns for the blacksmith and the merchants. They are there in the games, and you can go buy stuff from them and upgrade your gear. And yeah, and the one big thing is, for me personally, I actually don't remember if there is a difference between night and day, honestly. I think during nighttime, there is something is different during nighttime, and I don't know what. You can also get relics. You can unlock relics.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. I just read something. While leveling resets with each match, there is a way to improve characters permanently at the round table hold. So do you remember the round table in Elden Ring? That's the hub for this game.
Oh.
And at the end of every game, even if you lose, you unlock relics. These can be equipped at a bench by the round table. They offer unique boons like increased bleed damage or permanently increased to stats like strength. Okay. Relics come in 3 tiers. The first one gives you 1 boon, the second 2, and the third 3. Okay. So relics are the permanent progression outside of the matches.
Okay. Well then.
Yeah, leveling is super simplified. You literally just click. You go to a what? Oh, I guess I should also say all the animations that happen a lot in Elden Ring. All those are gone.
Yeah.
For the sense of speed, so you don't actually sit down at the grace. You just stand near it, click it, and think. For instance, there's no open chest. There's no when you open a chest in Elden Ring, you do that whole thing where you bend down and pull it up. You just go over there, click it, and it opens and items spew out. Because in Nightreign, you're also fighting time, because this game has a battle royale like ring that is slowly making the map smaller and smaller and smaller, forcing you to make time decisions. Where do you fight, for instance, in those castles, Alchem, there is a mini boss and they do drop generally good loot, but can you kill it in time before the ring closes?
Okay,
it's one of those things. Right, there's a lot of decisions you have to make.
Okay.
And and unfortunately, I still don't really know what the difference is between the nighttime and daytime, because I'm pretty sure the end boss only shows up during the 5th phase at all the time. The other times you are getting pushed towards a boss, but these bosses are not as tough as the last one. From what I know, the night 1 or the day 1, night 1, day 2, night 2 bosses are the Elden Ring bosses. There are reused bosses from Elden Ring with some differences, I think, but there are the same things. But the end boss during phase 5 are bosses made specifically for Elden Ring Nightreign.
Oh, good. All right.
So the final bosses are made for them, and they've already showed off one. And it's very intense. Also, Alchem, this game, I don't know if it's going to be possible to play this game without 3 people, but these bosses were made with 3 people in mind, because I do not understand how you're supposed to beat this boss by yourself. I think it's impossible. Legitimately. I don't think, even with all the crazy people that do all those crazy runs in Elden Ring, I'm sure they could do it. But they could probably do it. They have determination like no other, but these bosses are designed with having 3 people, almost guaranteed. So some of them are quite the one that they've showed off a couple times is insane. Some other things, you can be revived because it's a co-op game. If you die, you can be revived.
Oh, okay.
Alchem, take a guess how you revive someone. How do you revive a down teammate?
I'm assuming you'd have to go to a certain location, maybe the church?
No. You beat the crap out of them. They go down. They go into a down state, and you smack them. You hit them with your attacks, and they have a new purple health bar that you have to get all the way down in order for them to revive. And the more times you get downed, the bigger that purple health bar is. Yeah, so I think there's a 3 bars that appear above your head when you're in a dying state. And every time you die, the first time you die, it's 1 bar. The second time it's 2 bars, and the third time it's 3 bars. And I think the 4th time you just die, or it's always 3 bars after that. But I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's the revive system. You just smack them. But it's also one of those things where it is a trade-off, because when you're trying to revive something, it's not like the game's pausing. Whatever killed that person is still alive, so. And I don't think you get refilled or anything like that. So you get revived, and I don't think you're at full health as well, if I remember correctly. Some interesting things as well. Some of the final things that I've saw is 1, there's no fall damage, 0 fall damage in the entire game.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, cool. That's
yeah. When you jump from a certain distance, you do a roll at the very end, and you take no damage.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, cool. The best game ever. Best Elden Ring style game ever. No fall damage. Sign me up.
Bows and stuff like that don't use arrows. I mean, they do use arrows, but you don't have to worry about.
But they don't use ammunition. Yeah. Okay. This is starting to sound better and better now.
Yeah, and enemies apparently indicate what boss you'll be fighting later. Like certain enemies only show up when certain bosses are there.
Okay.
And there is a lot of random encounters apparently, which were just demonstrated in the what's it called?
The beta.
The beta. For instance, some bosses on the night of day 2 can just show up, apparently. Some bosses can just show up as regular enemies, wandering around. And they are marked, but they are marked on the map. So you can choose to fight them if you want to.
Well, and yeah, you the benefit of getting whatever drops at day specifically would drop.
You get all the you get the runes and the items. And all the map markers and locations are available from the very start. So as soon as you drop down into the new match, you can look at your map and decide you're playing your route. So yeah. I'm personally pretty excited for this game as well, honestly. I am interested, and I think the best thing about this game is that it's not a full price game.
$30?
It's
35?
40.
45.
It's 40.
Okay.
40 US.
Not. We're slowly creeping up to the 80 full price thing and 40 half price game.
I mean, now. 80 is full price, Alchem. That's what games are now.
Ah!
I mean, 70, sorry.
Okay.
I mean, it's 70 right now. At least US. Games have been $80 to $90 for me for a very long time.
Don't worry, it'll soon creep up to 100.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so the two things that I'm worried about Elden Ring, Nightreign is one, how is this? Can you play this game solo or just with one friend? And two, if you can't, how is the matchmaking experience going to be? Because I don't think there's any voice chat. There's not even text chat. It's going to be interesting. If you don't have two people to play with, how is this game? You know?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what's going to happen in the long run. See, my concern of these style of games is what happens in the long run when eventually I know Dark Souls has a very thriving and loyal community, but there gets to be a point in a time in every game where eventually no one is on, or very few people are on. So just can you still even enjoy it when you're going to be maybe alone or load time or game to find a match? You're going to wait several minutes.
And
I know
I think it's good to say. I think it's fair to say also, Elden Ring Nightreign is it's different. You know, you're building a character up just like in the other Souls-like games, but it's different. Like I said, this is much closer to a roguelike than a Dark Souls game. The Dark Souls and Elden Ring soul is still there, but this is a roguelike version of this game. For instance, it's like I said, leveling up is very streamlined. You click the grace and you click level up when you have enough runes. That's it. You're not individually doing stats. So, yeah. So if you don't have two friends, my biggest thing is when you don't have two friends to play this game, how is that experience going to be? And right now, my conclusion is going to be really bad. Because it's just like any game where you're solo queuing. When you have two teammates, it's going to be... I mean, it's the reason I stopped playing Apex, because I didn't want to deal with it anymore, you know? So, it's going to be interesting to see.
I thought you liked playing with the randos that show up.
I mean, honestly, I don't mind it, but... We'll see. We'll see. Especially with this being, weapon... loot isn't shared. Loot is
That's
not
the part
shared.
That's weird. Why would the loot be not shared? Especially if
when you open one chest, 3 items pop out. So like, there is technically an item for one person, for every person in your party. So when you open one chest, generally I've seen 2 or 3 items pop out. So there is like, there isn't a lack of loot, but...
And I'm just assuming that it would be like each loot, like one loot will have one of the 3 items will be made or will be in a weapon for the designated class that you're specifically playing or your teammates are playing.
I mean, from what I know, there isn't. It's just like Elden Ring. There isn't necessarily class restrictions, but there's stat restrictions.
That's what I'm referring to. Because I was like,
I also think I do also think there are rarities, like a common, rare, uncommon stuff. I think as well. So I do think there is like white, green, blue legendary items. From what I've seen. But there are like, for instance, like there's a class that is very dagger focused, and you can technically use heavy strength weapons, but you need to 2-hand them. You know? So, yeah. One interesting thing is that the ultimates your characters have seemingly make you invulnerable.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you know,
because they have long and they have decent amounts of animations to them. And so when you're doing that animation, you are invulnerable.
Imagine you're doing your super, your ultimate, ready to save your teammate, and the boss just bitch slaps you away.
Yeah.
And your ultimate's gone, it's got used up, so now you gotta wait.
Yeah.
Or at that point, you're probably getting wiped. But that would suck if it was an ultimate.
Yeah. So that is Elden Ring, Nightreign. That's coming out in May. And technically the network test is still going on now, but it is console only at the moment in the 3-hour blocks. So you'd have to look that up yourself. I don't know what it is. So yeah, that is those 2 games. Now, one technically follow-up story, because both of you and I have played this game together. And we were following this, but Dark and Darker, the Dark and Darker Iron Mace developers, their court stuff has ended against Nexon. And it has been ruled that they have to pay Nexon $6 million, basically. Not because of copyright, but because of trade secret infringement.
Oh, they actually did. Oh. Yes.
So,
did they reveal what they had, or what they...
So basically, okay, so the lawyering of this is that copyright isn't enforceable because there's no copyright, because the game that they were working on for Nexon didn't exist. It was just a project that you can't copyright, you know?
Yeah.
But
I thought there was actually a game out that they actually had some kind of copyright to, because you can't just put a copyright on an idea.
Yeah, it was a project. It was a project code named P3 that they pulled the plug in 2021.
Then the bullshit on the copyrights.
Yeah,
copyright thing.
On the copyright, they got nothing on it because it didn't exist. There was nothing stolen.
Can't steal it.
The difference is, so the difference in, so the Copyright Alliance says copyrights are specific individual rights applied to an original work that is fixed in a tangible medium like a photograph, a book, or an MP3 file. Trade secrets are less specific. Information that has an economic benefit due to its secret nature has value to others who cannot legitimately obtain it and is subject to reasonable efforts to maintain its secrecy, which is what Project P3 was. It was a secret project behind Nexon, which then the employees used the information on that to make Dark and Darker, which is why they had to pay.
Gotcha.
Which they had to pay 8.5 billion won, which is about $5.9 million. Luckily, Dark and Darker is doing very well, so I don't think it was that bad in terms of a monetary hit.
I was honestly about to say, considering how well Dark and Darker has done, is they basically could just look at it like a fee.
Yeah,
It was just a fee to have that.
They're still pushing like 13,000 players daily on Steam.
Yep.
Over 10K almost every day. There's a couple times where I've only seen like 9K. I did a little bit of research on this before. But for the most part, over 10K every day.
No,
since it's been on Steam. There has been some weird dips, but I think it's because servers were down.
They're perfectly fine. If the only issue they've had is server issues, then...
Yeah. And it's good to finally just have this court case done so they can focus on the game and not have to worry about this thing, about being copyright striked or something like that. So
good on you guys. Yeah. Good on you guys, Dark and Darker team. Now make better. Make your game better. Keep making it better. It's already good, but make it better. I want more maps.
The only bad thing is Nexon put a statement after this verdict, and basically said they're gonna, after carefully reviewing the ruling, we plan to seek further legal judgment through a higher court. So they're gonna try to go to the higher court. Yeah. So they're not done.
They're not letting this go.
But hopefully,
they want a second ruling.
Hopefully, nothing happens. Honestly. Because
they got it's not like they can do the trade secret again, and
but the thing is the court has already ruled that.
Yeah, the court's ruled that, so they can't do that anymore.
So I don't know what they'd be going after.
The only thing they can do is try to appeal to a higher court about the copyright, but
that's a dead end argument, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing existed to copyright.
They're going to either try to find a new angle, which I don't think they have anything,
or they can plead that the damages wasn't enough.
That's more that shouldn't be in trial. There should be more litigation before they actually get to a court or trial. That can be done off court. It just sounds like they're going to just try to appeal and see if they can get a second court's opinion on that, especially in the higher court. See if we can overrule the judgment.
Maybe, or they're just trying to scare Iron Mace.
I mean,
it could be all three. Honestly, it could be all three.
It could be, but I mean, they already did a dent to them with the 5 million. But I mean, maybe they just thought they would sink them. But I mean, that's usually most of the time whenever I've seen these kind of things in court for two companies, it's just one of them wants to either tank the other or just stop them from whatever product or whatever idea or whatever thing they put out that caused this to begin with. And because Dark and Darker isn't done, they're not gone, the game's still there, they're probably going to try to aim to either just make them waste more time or more money in the court, or see if they can just get, like I said, the copyright thing to just get the game gone.
Maybe. I don't think they're going to succeed, but I hope. But
I don't think so either. I don't think so either.
I mean, funny enough, the only reason I stopped playing Dark and Darker is that I enjoy Dark and Darker outside of the PvP. I don't enjoy the PvP aspect of Dark and Darker, honestly. I
love it.
I kind of understand that's kind of like the whole point of it, but like getting two-shot by people that are better than me, not very interested right now.
It's fun to just kill a bunch, like a giant troll, ice troll or something, and then just getting clocked in the back of the head by just a mage, and because they were just waiting for you to mess up or waiting for you to finish the fight with like barely any health left. It's great.
I really do hope they eventually add a mode where there is no other players and you're just playing a PvE mode, kind of like Tarkov, what they did that. I think I'd really love that.
I would love it if they just add a PvE mode of the same normal version, but there's like an end game boss you can all try to reach to, or just dip out with whatever loot you want to get out, instead of this whole PvP, PvE kind of session. I would like it more if it's just all PvE, but you have like a main boss somewhere.
It becomes a co-op game. I want this to become a co-op game.
Yeah. I love that, where you can co-op with other teams, other groups of threes, and go down into the lower sections and even go further.
I mean, I've never seen the hell section because it's never worth the risk.
It's never worth the risk. It really is not.
And I think it would be, I'd be more convinced if it was like no PvP, so. But yeah.
If I have a good party and everything, and like party of 6, like not all of them together, we're all talking in game and stuff, that'd be cool. That'd be really fun.
Yeah. I mean, I have voice
That's
chat
for
turned
future.
off, to be fair, but but that's because, sometimes I can be an old man and yelling at people to get off my lawn.
You damn kids, get off my loot.
Pretty much.
All right, I see.
So, Alchem.
Yes, I'm just imagining
going from a win,
going
from a win to going from a slightly more of a okay. It's a win only because I don't like anything associated with this guy, even though technically he's not associated anymore. But it's been a while since I said this, but I do want to mention it because, I gotta bring some NFT or crypto news to you, Alchem. But Midnight Society is shutting down. Do you know what that is?
No, but you're gonna tell me, and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, so Midnight Society was the team behind Dead Drop, which is the NFT extraction shooter that Dr. Disrespect was running. When all that stuff happened with him, they disassociated with him and told them they were no longer associated with him. And now this year, a couple months ago, in January actually, end of January, so it wasn't that long ago actually, it was only a couple weeks, they announced that they're shutting down.
Okay.
Which, I know you didn't see any of it, Alchem, but holy cow, did this game look awful. Like, it looked like the worst version of Escape from Tarkov or any extraction shooter you can think of, Alchem. It looked like a worse version of that. And the NFTs were stupid because the NFTs were basically like game passes and they were being sold for nothing. And yeah, it's dead. As dead as this game called Dead Drop. And
I feel like you're ecstatic about it. Like you want to go like Wizard of Oz, ding dong this the
I do
dead kind of thing.
I do, but the sad thing, okay, the good thing is that it's dead, and I think this game is stupid and it's dumb. But another thing, they're shutting down, so that means like everyone lost their job, which sucks. So like it does suck, but they weren't working on a good game. They were not working on a good game. It looked bad. It played bad from what I saw. Everything was bad about this game.
Can't feel so bad when you know the product was bad.
Yeah.
If they were pushing a bad product, then you shouldn't have been surprised that it would have gone under.
Yeah.
I mean, if you saw the writing on the wall, the general public saw the writing on the wall. I'm pretty sure the dev team saw it too. But a paycheck is a paycheck, so they were probably chasing that bag. They knew the product was probably bad, but hey, a paycheck's a paycheck. Hopefully they can land another job somewhere in a more respectable thing instead of a game like that.
Hopefully.
Like Dead Drop.
Yeah, because so luckily for you, Alchem, that's the only crypto and NFT news I have, and it's a good one because this game will never come out and it will be hopefully forgotten. I can't wait until I forget about this.
Until Dr. Disrespect comes back, because he's back on YouTube and he's back on. I think he's monetized again. So whatever the hell he did, we're not going to go into that giant rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But whatever the hell, apparently it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to know.
I don't know.
I'm just expecting him to try to pick up where he left off and maybe pick up that thing. I'm like, it's gonna come back.
Isn't that what he is doing?
He's trying to pick up everything back where he started. Like the YouTube, since he's been monetizing it, he's trying to go back to it. No, but what I'm saying is, what if he tries to go back and tries to revive this game, and you actually have to report on it?
I don't think he owns the company, so.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, no, like the company is literally being like dissolved. Like everything is burning.
Oh, okay. Then it won't come back. It will not come back from the ashes.
Like nothing is like everything is being shut down.
This moment that we're talking about will not come back to haunt us in the future.
Hopefully. Speaking of something that was dead coming back, Rooster Teeth is back.
It's all coming.
Do you know who bought it?
Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie
bought it. I was so happy. I was like, oh my god, he came back. He came back to bring it back to life. What?
Yep.
I was excited when I heard the news. I heard first I'm reading, oh, Rooster Teeth's back. Okay. Well, what happened? Who bought it? And then I read further. I was like, Bernie. He's back.
Yep.
He's back.
Did you see how he announced it? By the way.
No, I didn't see it. I want to see. Oh, I need to go see it.
So the only thing he said to announce that he now controlled Rooster Teeth now was on the official Rooster Teeth Twitter page. He tweeted butts. And that's it.
Tweeted butts.
Yep. Yeah, it was the first post since May 2024, and he said butts on the Twitter account. My interesting thing is they don't really own a lot anymore.
Huh.
Like,
no, they don't own Ruby. They don't
own Ruby. I still think they own Red versus Blue.
Yeah, they definitely do own Red versus Blue.
They don't own Death Battle anymore because they went independent.
No, Death Battle went independent. So honestly,
do they own Genlock?
They do own Genlock. If I'm not mistaken, Genlock didn't move on. I think it went down once Rooster Teeth went down. I'm trying to remember what other ones, because I remember Genlock, I remember Ruby, I remember Red versus Blue, I remember Death Battle.
I don't think they own Ruby.
No, not anymore. So that, like I said, I just remember Red versus Blue for those things, but then it was when under, all of them kind of split off or just died. Thankfully, Ruby was bought off by Viz. Viz, and I'm worried about that, but we'll see what the hell happens there. Death Battle has become its own independent thing, which honestly I'm happy for, because they're doing so well.
They're doing great.
Like they've gotten, I swear to God, they're like a little pinnacle, or like something for animators to come to and just show off their talent, while also making a name and also getting a few bucks for it. Yeah. So it's cool. I think
even the podcast network was sold.
Yeah. Oh.
The Roost podcast network was sold. So the Rooster Teeth doesn't even own that as well.
So they just have whatever little. I know they have small little.
They have Red
animations.
The big ones is they own Red versus Blue and Genlock still. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Red versus Blue, and Genlock, and I'm drawing a blank here. Wouldn't they have like some small animation stuff? No, maybe not. No,
they probably have
because
some.
I'm remembering I remember they did those weird little chibi-looking cartoons, but I don't think those were specifically Ruby, because I think they added some other characters too, but maybe that was just Ruby. So maybe I'm mistaken. So yeah, I guess it's just that, and hopefully they can get additional shows on there. I mean, honestly, if they announce another Red versus Blue, I will definitely watch.
I mean, depending on how they
caution.
Yeah, it also depends on how it's also how they like distribute it.
Yeah. If they do,
because I don't see them making money on this. Like, the question is how they make money on it. That's the real question. I mean, that's the reason why Rooster Teeth went under. They weren't making money on anything.
Yeah, they weren't at all. It's just, it was like funded by the people, but here's hoping they do good. Honestly, I really do hope.
I hope they do
good. I'm looking forward
good
to whatever they put out.
Yeah, I hope they do good.
But good for them. Glad that Bernie bought it back. I really hope he takes it in a good direction again.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is that at least they will have proper direction, and they don't have a scary big company ahead of them telling them they better make money. Like I'm pretty sure Bernie understands that this is going to be a long-term investment. Because I can't imagine him thinking that the first thing he comes out with is going to make money.
I mean, originally it was just a passion project to begin with, and then it just happened to take off, and then it got under another business that was like, make money, or we'll beat your ass or something.
Yeah.
But we'll now that he was there from the beginning, so he would understand of any of the people there who would take charge.
I believe he understands that this is not going to be day one profit kind of stuff.
Unless they do some drastic stuff, which I don't know if will work. So after that outcome, kind of going back to, I guess, did you see the new Dave the Diver stuff?
There's new Dave? Wait, hold on.
All right,
the jungle?
No. You need to watch this.
Hold on, I gotta go see. I'm looking.
Yeah, you need to watch this. I just sent it to you. I will open. Let's see. Can I?
Wait, Dave and Friends? No, that's 3 months ago.
No, I just sent you it in DMs.
Okay.
This was posted 4 days ago.
I'm sorry. I just read Ichiban's Holiday.
You need to watch it.
Oh my god, it's Ichiban!
It's Ichiban. He's here. He's here.
Oh my god, I gotta play this when it comes out. Oh, yes.
It comes out in April.
Holy crap, I didn't see that. Oh, that they have a side-scrolling beat 'em up where you get to play with as Cobra. Wait, no way. What? Oh, that's gonna be so cool.
Yep.
Oh,
so that is coming out. I'm surprised you didn't know about this. Honestly, I was hoping you didn't know about this, so I could I could spring it on you right now. But I was expecting you to know about this.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah. The funny thing is, we still don't know anything about the thing they talked about last time, like the jungle thing. We still don't know what that is. We don't know if that's a DLC or a new game or something. We don't know what it is, but this is coming first. I still need to play Dave the Diver a lot. I haven't played it enough.
Take it. I'm not gonna be one of those play now. No.
Yeah.
It's one of those when you want to.
It's one of those games where I want to like play it like
at your leisure.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, play it at your leisure because I always thought that it had deadlines to do, but honestly, the only deadlines that exist would be just when they tell you, hey, there's a special event going on where you can potentially make more money. And all it is just little bonus events that can let you get additional income. And that's it.
You know what it is? I treat it kind of like Stardew Valley. Every once in a while I get in the mood to play Stardew Valley. At some point I'm going to get in the mood to play Dave the Diver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is so cool.
And so one final thing I have, Alchem, is a very funny story that has an ending, as a beginning, middle, and ending.
Oh.
So Alchem,
what is the beginning?
Do you know there is a Nintendo museum in Japan?
Yeah.
It's a pretty popular museum, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Did you also know, at the end of January, in the beginning of February, in the middle of January, a new ramen shop opened on the opposite side of the Nintendo Museum called M.A.R.I.O. Ramen. Or, as some people might read, Mario Ramen. Right outside the Nintendo Museum.
Huh. I feel like there's a lawsuit coming. Is it part of Nintendo?
Like I said, Alchem, there is an ending to this story. No, they are not associated with the Nintendo at all. And it was spotted on Japanese Twitter, and people went to it and it's like, yes. And so the Nara-based establishments spell Mario in hiragana in its logo with the kanju for Rio, which is why it is the M dot. It's an abbreviation. So it's a different.
It's a different Mario, but
Yeah,
not.
it's a Kyoto version of Mario Ro Ramen, a well-known noodle shop from Nara.
So Mario Ramen, got it. But it basically just like
it spells
like
Mario
though. Yeah, people will interpret it as Mario, and that's clever.
A lot of people talked about it. Very funny, and everyone's like, "There's like 400 lawsuits waiting for you guys." And then at the end of January, the sign disappeared. It is no longer there, and no one knows why. Everyone can assume why, but nothing has publicly been said. But the ramen sign disappeared.
I'm assuming either they went civilly to send them a message.
They probably emailed them and said, "Please take this down, or there will be consequences." And the ramen shop was like, "Well, we got a couple weeks out of advertising out of this. I think that was good enough." And then they took it down.
Yeah, I feel like that's what happened. They probably sent them a message saying, "Please," like formally, because their business. They probably wanted to go. They wanted to go formal first.
Yeah.
And then they said if they suddenly didn't take it down, they probably would have gone litigious and sent them an actual like kind of, "Hey, we need to go to court now."
Also, I do want to show you the picture, Alchem. Like they even like it's here. Let me just send it to you. It's literally the Mario colors as well. Like it's straight up the Mario colors as well. Like it's straight up the Mario colors with the like. It also looks like the Mario text as well. It's very funny.
Oh, good lord! They really didn't even.
Just shameless.
I'm like
full on shameless.
I'm like, you didn't really, did you? They did. They actually did. Holy crap! Let's see if this works. Oops. Carry the wrong thing. Oops.
But yeah, so that is the last story I have for today. I thought it was a good way to end off on that because it was just so funny to me. And I wanted to tell you it. It's very funny.
It is.
Mario Ramen. Would you go to a Nintendo themed ramen shop, Alchem?
Would I go to Mario Ramen? I would go to any place that serves good ramen. I would definitely go.
You are a ramen simp.
If the ramen was good, I'd be there. All right, let me just put this up here. My video is going to be attacked by Nintendo soon.
Yeah, well, luckily that's not me. So
it's not, yeah. Don't worry, Nintendo. I'm just showing this for news sake.
It's true.
But yeah.
So yeah.
Ramen,
yeah. Yeah. Actually, you know what? On a slightly same note. Actually, I forgot about this. Did you also know that Nintendo lost a legal battle against a supermarket named Super Mario?
Yes. Wasn't that
in
the
Costa
Spanish
Rica?
one?
Yes.
Yeah, in Costa Rica. The Costa Rican literally it just has Mario's image plastered all over the place. It is. See, this thing right here that we're showing, the Mario Ramen, this is
that's very blatant.
Yeah, this is blatant. And this is clearly like, they're trying to spell Mario and everything.
Yeah.
The one from the Costa Rican store is like absolutely like there's no shame. They have the image of Mario on the damn on their banner.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. I could have sworn they did. Let me see.
They do not.
I could have sworn they did. Hold on, let me look.
At least not from what I'm seeing. I mean, the reason it's called Super Mario is because the guy who made the store, the CEO, his name is Mario.
Let me go check her. Oh wait, they actually named it Super Mario. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have sworn they had. I swear I saw an image where they had like
it might have been just a joke. But here, I can show you the image that I see in this article. Like it's this. It's the top right one. It's nothing like it's just Super Mario with a shopping cart.
So I saw this. Hold on. So I thought there was this because I seen this image. Maybe this is fake, I guess. Let me show, because I do see the one you're talking about with the blue and yellow and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, because I saw someone else talk about it, and they showed this image. Here, let me send you this. We showed that image, and I was like, "Oh, that's very." But if it's the one that you sent me, the like the blue and yellow one with just the name Super Mario, then yeah, that's fine. That makes sure sense. The other one, like, if that was true,
if this one is true, then yes, they need to get sued out of their blind. But I don't think that's. Yeah. I don't think that if it is true that was not what the legal battle was about.
Yeah, no. So okay, I miss. That one is not so bad compared to the other. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense that they would win that because it's just it's the name of a person. You can't copyright the name Mario because it's not a very unique. It's not the most uniquest name in the world. Yes, it is the most well-established video game character's name, besides like what, Mickey Mouse. I think like Mickey Mouse is the only other recognizable character name that people would know.
Maybe.
Yeah, but Mario. But yeah. So no, you can't like copyright a name, and you can't copyright Super Mario. Or like the wording, I guess.
Well, it's because the official reasoning is, though Nintendo's registration as a company covers a wide number of areas, they don't supply food products as wide enough basis to keep Super Mario from officially registering their name as a grocerer.
Not yet.
So it's true. If Nintendo opened a grocery store and wanted to call it Super Mario because of their association with Mario, then they could have an argument, but they have to open a grocery store first.
Yeah. But since they lost this argument, I'm pretty sure that this is going to hold up in court, and they'll be like, sorry, you guys already lost this kind of thing, even if you tried to make a supermarket now.
Yeah.
Too bad. But still, that is, I thought, okay, so I did hear about the story, but apparently the source that I heard it from had a different image, so
yeah. I can't even, wait.
It'd be crazy.
Was it a Reddit post?
I don't remember where I saw it. It was a YouTube video. It was a YouTube video that I was watching, and they had that image. I'm like, holy crap, that can't be real. No, that's insane. But no, if it's the blue and yellow one you sent me, then that's perfect.
Yeah. It's just a regular logo.
Sense. Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So that is all the stories I have for today. Alchem, how come you do some shoutouts?
All right, chat. Thank you all for watching. Those who are watching the live stream, I appreciate your company. We are back. We're trying to get back at the speed of things. It's been a while, like we said in the beginning, but we're here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope you guys enjoy any future podcasts that we'll have in store for you. And if you are interested in anything on my end, my name is Alchem. I'm the little Tanuki VTuber, currently co-hosting alongside with the Techno Jelly. You can catch me over on Twitch or on YouTube, where I usually live stream my antics. You can also catch me on Twitter, where I just post random funny things that I enjoy, or even just like works on my models that I've been posting. I also am on TikTok, where I just post some of the funnier stuff that I normally do on streams. And feel free to watch, enjoy, and if you feel inclined, support me. And, feel like it's supporting, there's multiple ways. PayPal, just subbing, donating, blah, 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 Twitch subs, blah, blah. I'm bad at explaining all that, but you understand the gist of it. You can do all that, and yeah. But, yeah. And like I said, I co-stream this along with the Techno Jelly, who now will take it away and do his shout-outs.
Yes, everyone, hello. I am the Techno Jelly. Thank you for being here. If you're here on the VOD, I appreciate it if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. We do these, in theory, every week. We haven't been doing them every week recently, but we are going to be getting back into the every week cycle. Habit. If you would like to support the podcast directly, please go over to my Patreon account at the Techno Jelly. You see before and after scenes of the podcast. And this week's before scenes was me talking about all the stories and me forgetting that I did not save one of the stories. It's mostly me looking for that story the whole time and eventually finding it, luckily. And then realizing, hey, wait a minute, Alchem should have been here by now. And I'm like, oh, hopefully he didn't die. So yeah. If you'd like to follow me on other places, I have Twitch, Twitter, Steam, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads, all with the same name, at the Techno Jelly. And yes, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week on Two Buds One Podcast. Goodbye, everyone.
Later, guys.